Congratulations to Nathaniel again. He made me look awful good. And unfortunately, you have to look at the real me now for a minute. I have to admit, I'm just absolutely blown away by this evening tonight. It was really amazing, the diversity of talent in the school, and it's a credit, I suppose, to the pupils and the staff, and obviously my old mucker, Father Dermot. He's doing great things here, so it's really been amazing, and I'm really taken aback and impressed by it all. For me, I suppose, one of my fondest memories of Kieran's, and most of my fondest memories of Kieran's, involved the art room. It's in a much nicer location now. I visited recently and saw that they were upstairs. It's very nice. But back then, I remember the art room was kind of a little oasis for me and a group of us. And Mr. Kelleher kind of encouraged our interest in comics and animation. And I even got to paint a mural on one of the cupboards. And also, one of my the first time I met my wife was in the art room in Kieran, so it has a special memory for me. We were painting the sets for one of the musicals together. I think the last time I was on stage in front of an audience of Kieran's college pupils, I was supposed to be holding up one of the sets and it fell down, and all of a sudden I was up on the stage where I should have been well hidden behind the set. Anyway, I think both my wife and I were in Young Irish Filmmakers together, and we both went to art college. And we had our son very young, and yet we still kind of managed to make our way through life and become pretty successful at what we do, you know. As Mr. Finan was saying, we set up Cartoon Saloon back in '99 with a group of friends, some of them going back, as I said, to the Kieran's days, you know. My wife's just finished her first documentary, so it would seem like there was kind of a straight line from school to college to career. But obviously that's just a sort of Facebook profile version of things. It's when you look at the granular level, if you look at the reality of things, it's not quite as simple as that, you know. And it's easy to miss the detail of it when you're looking at someone's career from the point of view that a student in secondary school will be looking at it. And that's what I was sort of thinking about. What would I say tonight? What would I have wanted to hear myself whenever I was in secondary school? I was trying to think what I could possibly say that was of any relevance, really. So I kind of had to just reflect on my own experience and try and draw out things that I would like to have known at that age. And so, I mean, I still have dreams, maybe nightmares about Leaving Cert and my days in Kieran's. And my son just did his Leaving Cert last year, so I kind of had to relive some of those memories too. And I understand how hard it can be to see past it when you're in the middle of it. But it's a strange thing, you know. School does affect your life and your future. And but for me, I found out it was mainly not in ways I might have thought, you know. When I was in my last days in secondary school, it was kind of time to really think about what I wanted to do, who I wanted to be, how I wanted to live my life. And I think it's good to think about those things. I know I still check in with those questions regularly, because it's not really a straight line from Leaving Cert to college to career. It's a kind of constant realignment and readjustment as we find our way, find our niche, and kind of try to find our purpose. So even though when I'm stressed, I still have flashbacks to the Leaving Cert. In the cold light of day, I'm very glad to say that in many ways it's the good things from my last days in secondary school that have stayed with me, and anything that might have been negative has totally faded into obscurity. I still have so many close friends from my school days, and I've learned to turn to them for support and advice since then. I still work day by day with my closest friends from Kieran's, and we still keep in contact with old friends, even if they're dotted around the place now. So some of the best friendships I think you'll ever forge in your life are the friendships that you forge in secondary school. And when I saw the amazing teamwork and comradeship amongst the different groups, not just the sports teams but the musicians, etc., here tonight, it was very inspiring, I have to say. Because, like, for me, I was a little bit of an outsider, I taught in school, and I wasn't really part of the mainstream of the school community, I felt, but not in any kind of cool bad boy Harley Davidson bike kind of way. A kind of really geeky, nerdy outsider kind of a way. And so I really was a bit of an oddball, I suppose. But I think everybody at some point in their journey through the teenage years feels like a bit of an oddball, you know. But what I kind of discovered that was banding together with others who shared the same interests and dreams as me was really a massive thing that I brought from those days. And I'm often amazed when I speak to people at the top of the film business that they felt the same way when they were in school. And I suspect it's the same in any business, you know. people who follow their passion are often the ones who seem to be outsiders at the start, but if they stay their course, they kind of find their way. And I think that spirit of teamwork and collaboration, still informs everything I do. Running a studio is a huge team effort every day. The specific subjects that I studied in school might not play a role in what I do every day, and maybe the subjects that you're studying mightn't play a role in everything you do in your future, but how you approach them, I think, will. The way I approach my work now is the same pattern I learned in my school days. If there's that spark of interest that motivates you, that's what gets you started. More usually, you have to find something to interest you, to get you going, if the spark of interest isn't so obvious. But then there's just the discipline of sitting down and working on it and putting in the time. And the cliche, that you always hear is like, oh, if you do something you love, you never work a day in your life. And I think the reality is closer to another cliche that I heard, which is more like 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. And, the hard work sometimes can be tough, but what keeps us going back to it is sort of the passion for what you're doing and looking back to that 1% of inspiration. And it's nice to get awards and nominations and congratulations, and it is fantastic to see people being recognised across all the different disciplines we saw here tonight. But it's obviously not why any of us do it. We do it because there's a passion in us to communicate and to share, I think. There's an excitement in giving to others. The actor Brendan Gleeson once said to me that good art makes us feel less alone. We communicate something that allows us to see the commonality that we have with others. And I think if we're successful in doing that in itself is the big award, that's the greatest reward. So, it's not really about the points and popularity and any of those things. It's about constantly adjusting your trajectory to find your niche and to chart your course. And I think if you keep coming back to the things that make you feel that you're connecting to others and help you feel authentic to who you really are, I think you can relax, because whatever you do, it's sure to be a success. So thanks very much.